Look, we've all broken aquarium rules. Thought it was fine until the fish started dying and the tank looked like a biology experiment. Today, I'm gonna call out 10 rules that everybody ignores, and trust me, it is costing you big time. Walking into a fish store without a plan is basically speedrunning a bad decision. You see that flashy fish flaring at you through the glass like it's serving main character energy, and your brain goes, must buy shiny fish. Except, fellas, this ain't a gacha game. You can't summon random characters and hope they vibe together, okay? Impulse buying fish is how tanks end up with a murder mystery storyline by week 2. That gorgeous angelfish you snagged for the aesthetic, oh yeah, that's gonna bully your guppies until they mysteriously just disappear. That tiny, adorable Oscar cichlid, congrats! You just adopted a future tank-smashing demon who's gonna need a tank the size of your college debt. Every fish species has hardcore lore behind it. Their own water chemistry needs, their own temperaments, their own growth arcs. Some fish stay small and wholesome forever, and some hit a growth spurt that could be featured in a coming-of-age movie montage. If you're not looking this stuff up before you hit checkout, you're setting yourself up for a full-blown apology video with tears moment, minus the ukulele. But instead of fans, your fish is judging you through the algae buildup in the glass and their memories of their lost tank buddies. Moral of the story here is, treat picking fish the way you treat sending that risky text at 3 a.m. Don't do it. Sleep on it. Research the hell out of it and then decide. Your tank, your wallet, and your mental health will all thank you. Listen, we've all been there. Baby fish are tiny, adorable, and feels like you could fit a whole cast of them in your tank, and then suddenly they're grown, territorial, and plotting a coup. Overstocking a tank isn't just a rookie mistake, it's practically a rite of passage for new fish keepers. You think that you're building an underwater utopia, but in reality, you're creating a toxic workplace environment that even HR couldn't fix. When you cram too many fish into one space, your water quality nosedives faster than Twitter drama. Ammonia and nitrite levels spike, oxygen levels drop, algae blooms pop off like it's Coachella, and fish bodies are flying like a pit at a heavy metal concert. Your fish get stressed, which basically means their immune systems and diseases spread faster than the latest "this you" cancellation thread. And it's not just health issues. Overstocking brings out the worst of personalities, the bullies, the divas, the introverts who suddenly start throwing fins just to survive. Your peaceful community tank dreams have been left on red. Stock based on adult size, not baby cuteness. And please, don't trust the it'll be fine energy. That is how reality shows and aquarium disasters are born. Alright, setting up a new tank and throwing fish in right away is the aquatic equivalent of moving into a house that's literally still on fire. It looks fine for a day. Like, maybe a day, maybe 2. But behind the scenes, invisible chemical warfare is happening, and congrats! You just soft-launched ammonia poisoning to your pets. Cycling isn't optional. This isn't 2003 where everyone was learning from some crusty forum post written by a dude named FishGuy999. We have access to information. We know that a nitrogen cycle is what makes a tank livable. Beneficial bacteria have one job: to take deadly fish waste, aka ammonia, and turn it into less deadly waste, or nitrite, and then finally into something your plants can consume with nitrates. Without these bacteria, your fish are basically being slow roasted on their own poo. Yeah, you can speedrun cycling now, live plants, bottled bacteria starters, seeding from established tanks. It's all out there like cheat codes, but there's literally zero reason in 2025 to be raw dogging a fish's immune system by throwing them into a barren tank and hoping for the best. Testing your water with API kits or digital testers should be your religion. Your ammonia, nitrate, and nitrite levels should all be the holy trinity you pray to. And if you don't know these numbers, you're not keeping an aquarium, you're playing Russian roulette with living creatures. Cycling does take time, sometimes weeks, but honestly, and this might sound harsh, but deal with it. It's a check from the universe on whether you're ready for this hobby. You wouldn't drink water from a gas station bathroom sink without asking questions. And if you do, I have many more questions for you, but don't expect your fish to thrive with uncycled swamp water either. These are living creatures, people. Imagine you're feeling productive, doing a big old water change, hyping yourself up like you're the tank hero, and you pour in some fresh tap water, sit back and wait for the serotonin boost of clean glass and happy fish. Then, suddenly, your betta is belly up, and you're spiraling harder than someone who just sent a quadruple text at 2 a.m. If you're not dechlorinating your tap water, you are quite literally slow cooking those fish in invisible poison. Your city is loading tap water with chlorine and chloramine to kill bacteria because humans like not getting cholera. Yeah, I know, surprise. Unfortunately, these chemicals also nuke the gills of a fish in record time. Chlorine exposure strips the protective slime coat from fish, burns their gill tissue, and causes respiratory failure. Good times. It's a disaster that escalates pretty fast, and you will not get a warning. You'll just get dead fish and existential dread. The best part? Water conditioners exist, and it's foolproof. You can triple dose it, panic dose it, and overcompensates wildly after a traumatic TikTok binge about chlorine poisoning, and nobody gets hurt. Your fish are built for forgiveness if you do just this one basic thing. If you even think you forgot to add dechlorinator during a water change, stop whatever emotional damage spiral you're about to launch into and just add it. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Go right now. Keep the video on. Channel your inner messy millennial panic mode and fix it immediately. Your fish will literally thank you by continuing to be alive, which can sometimes feel like the only real reward system that aquariums offer. Aquarium keeping isn't just about throwing random pretty fish together and manifesting peaceful coexistence, dude. Fish are not passive characters in your aesthetic vision board. Some of them are full-blown rage monsters with murder in their hearts. And if you ignore that because the fish was on sale, you are going to be the main character of your own tragedy, my friend. Mixing incompatible fish is one of the fastest ways to turn your tank into a televised drama series with no commercial breaks. It's not just predator-prey disasters either. Some fish are so territorial, they'll throw fins over the same 3 inches of rock for eternity. Some are chronic nippers who will sabotage any fancy tail fish unfortunate enough to exist near them. And some just have toxic personalities that would like to get them voted off Love Island in the first week, like my ex. Okay, I digress. Even fish with the same species can turn your tank into a war zone if you ignore basic rules like male to female ratios. Yeah. Too many males and not enough females? Well, you got a harassment lawsuit waiting to happen. Somebody call HR. Territorial males fighting for dominance? Congratulations, you have unlocked boss battle mode without any gear. This is not a situation you can check your way out of. You need to Google your fish like you're researching a date from Tinder. Look up their aggression levels. Your fish, not the Tinder date. Their space needs, their social structures. If you don't do your homework, you will absolutely be sitting there in the middle of the night Googling, why is my tank a bloodbath? While contemplating your purchase decisions. You think you're about to build a serene underwater jungle, but if you're using tap water as your water source for serious planted tank, well, what you're actually doing is setting up a hostile takeover by algae. Tap water is sneaky. It looks harmless and it smells fine. It's probably good enough for a cup of coffee, but your aquarium? My friends, that is loaded with chaos. Municipal tap water often contains high levels of phosphates, silicates, and nitrates. These nutrients are the premium subscription package for every kind of nuisance algae that you do not want. Blackbeard algae, hair algae, diatoms. Your tank will become less Zen garden and more abandoned pool behind a gas station. You know the one. The plants, meanwhile, are trying their very best, but they're being sabotaged because they need clean, stable water conditions to thrive. Tap water destabilizes nutrient levels, introduces weird trace metals, and can even shock sensitive species into meltdown mode. If you want your aquascape to actually work, you need to invest in a reverse osmosis, or RO, or RODI system. These systems strip the water down to its blank base state, remove all the little hidden gremlins in tap water, and after that, you manually remineralize the water with exactly what your plants need. No more, no less. It sounds a little intense because honestly it is, but if you're serious about keeping your aquascaping from becoming a biohazard site, Chernobyl 2, you can't shortcut water quality. This is not a pray and dump hobby. This is precision chaos management. If that scares you, good, it should. Your plants will reward you by thriving instead of surviving and looking like they belong in a cinematic masterpiece instead of a Craigslist free section, all right? Fish are professional actors. If there was an Oscar category, for best dramatic performance and begging for food, every guppy, betta, and angelfish would be up there giving acceptance speeches. They will act like they are one flake away from collapse, even if you just fed them 15 minutes ago. But hear me out, they are lying to you. Do not fall for it. Overfeeding is not just like a little extra treat, it's biological sabotage. The extra food rots, ammonia levels spike, and your entire tank starts spiraling faster than a Discord server mid-drama. You are not just inviting algae into your tank, you are rolling out the red carpet, giving it the key to the city and throwing it a welcome party while you're at it. Rotting food means unstable ammonia and nitrite levels, which means stressed fish, damaged gills, and a tank that smells worse than whatever's happening in an after-hours frat party. Over time, this is going to wreck your biological filtration, crash your cycles, and boom, now you're the proud owner of a full-blown chemical apocalypse. So how do we fix it? Well, first of all, set a feeding protocol. Stick to it like your emotional support Stanley Cup. If your fish look sad, remind yourself that they're dirty little liars. Healthy fish can go days without food if they have to. You skipping an extra feeding isn't trauma, it's preventing them from swimming around in their own personal version of Chernobyl. And speaking of deadly diseases and Chernobyl and all that fun stuff, let's talk about quarantine. This is not optional, this is survival. Every time you bring a new fish home and drop it in your main tank without quarantining, you're playing the biological equivalent of Russian roulette. Except instead of 1 bullet, 5 chambers are loaded, and you brought the fish, patient 0. Diseases do not come with warning labels. Your new fish might look stunning. It might pose for selfies and absolutely still be carrying a bacterial infection, parasites, or straight up viral nightmares that will nuke your tank in a week flat. The pathogens do not care that you acclimated slowly or whispered sweet nothings at your new fish during drip acclimation. They just see free real estate. Saltwater fish keepers already know. Skipping quarantine in marine tanks is not just asking for a problem, it's scheduling it into your Google Calendar. Freshwater tanks might be a little more forgiving, but that's not a free license to be reckless. Imported fish especially need quarantine, because you don't know what stress, trauma, or fungal horror shows that they've been through. Minimum quarantine is 30 days non-negotiable. If you can't QT at home, buy from sellers who already do it properly, like our buddies at Flip Aquatics for freshwater, or TSM Aquatics if you're fancy with saltwater setups. Either way, dumping praying new fish into your system unless you're actively trying to build character through extreme emotional suffering, not a good idea. Alright, let's be real here. Power outages are not an if, they are a when. If you live anywhere that gets storms, snow, or the occasional citywide brownout, you already know the drama. And yet, somehow, most aquarists are living like power failure is a hypothetical instead of a guaranteed boss fight waiting to happen. When the power goes out, well, guess what? Your filter stops, your heaters stop, your oxygen levels nosedive, and within hours, your fish are gasping at the surface. In half a day, ammonia starts building up, and in 1 day, bacteria colonies start dying. Congrats! You have escalated to apocalypse mode because you didn't just spend $20 on a battery-powered air pump. There are simple, cheap solutions that will absolutely save your entire tank from turning into mass extinction events. Battery-powered air pumps should be the standard kit, no excuses. A sucking oxidator? Even better. It produces oxygen chemically without electricity, so it keeps your tank breathing even if your whole neighborhood goes offline. If you don't already have at least one backup system ready, what are you doing? Trusting the electrical grid with your tank's life is like trusting your group project partner who hasn't answered a text since last Tuesday. Don't risk it. Prep like the end times are tomorrow. Your future fish and your future sanity depend on it. Listen to me, I'll just change water every week and everything's fine. That's some boomer aquarium advice right there. This is 2025, bestie. We got testing kits. We have science. We have no excuse to be clueless about water chemistry. If you are not testing your ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, pH, GH, and KH at least semi-regularly, you have no idea what's happening in your tank. You're a pilot flying blind, hoping the ground just isn't too close. Tanks are living systems, not static jars of water. Conditions change, nutrients build up, biological loads shift. Plants consume different levels of minerals over time, and fish metabolism changes with seasons and temperature shifts. Everything matters, and everything can crash without warning if you're not paying attention. Stable tanks aren't stable because of magic, they're stable because their keepers watch parameters religiously and act based on data, not based on, the fish look happy today, so I guess it's fine. Your heavily planted aquascape might not need weekly water changes, sure, but you don't know that unless you're checking nitrate buildup and mineral balance, doi. Listen, testing isn't just about being paranoid, it's about precision. You dose fertilizer based on iron and nitrate levels, you buffer pH based on KH drops, you catch early warnings of bacterial blooms or pH swings before they become trending disasters. The rule is simple. Test first, then act. If you aren't checking your tank's chemistry, you're not keeping an aquarium. You're just speedrunning how fast a biological system can collapse when you stop paying attention. And that's it. If you actually listen to this, your tank might survive longer than your last situationship. Dechlorinate, don't overfeed, quarantine your fish, prep for blackouts, and monitor your water like a responsible adult. No excuses. Hit subscribe if you're ready to stop LARPing as an aquarium expert and actually become one. Hey, we'll see you in the next session.